Hey guys and everybody, if you're hearing this and hearing my voice, I'm extremely grateful. It's Men's Health Awareness Month. It's all about you guys, and it's just a reminder, but what is it? It's everything really: testicular cancer, prostate cancer, suicide, depression, and general well-being. This is for females too. It's up to you to help look after your guys and your parents or whatever it might be. So have a listen. Let me tell you some facts. Now, the big C, testicular cancer. Have a feel, touch your nuts, have a good time. No, just kidding. But you need to feel. Make sure if there's anything untoward that feels off to you, or the heaviness, it does not have to be pain, okay? But if you feel that something's not right there, have a little Google, make sure you're feeling correctly, and come to the health center. Go to your doctor, tell someone. You do not want this to carry on and get worse. There's also something called the HPV viral infection. We do vaccines for this at the health center for people that are 26 years and under. It's quite common, and if it's not treated, it can actually have a high percentage of leading to cancer. So, come and get your vaccine if you haven't already had it for 26 years and under, and it's free. Come and get it booked in. Prostate cancer. Nope, there's no fingers going up bottoms anymore. A blood test is just fine. Now, prostate cancer you'll find mainly in more mature men. Okay, so more than anyone over the age of 50 should be getting regular health checks. Even if you're not quite 50 yet, start thinking about it. Make it part of your well-being plan. Prostate cancer doesn't always give any signs, but if they are, it could be trouble urinating, the stream can decrease, and so forth. Just so you know where it is, here's your gland, and this is where the cancer starts. It doesn't always inflame, but if it does inflame, you can see where the urine stream will become impaired, and it will be pushing on your anus, so it may be painful in areas where you're doing your number twos, but it's good to know where it is so you understand it, but you may not always have those signs and symptoms. Right, there's the big C's. Let's move on to the psych. Psych is your brain and your mind. So our brain and mind is what actually starts with the depression, doesn't it? Or the depression affects it more so. Signs in males are very different and can be different to signs in females. Anger, irritability, and aggressiveness and anxiousness is some of the signs that males will put out when they are starting to feel the signs of depression. Now, what's going on in the brain when you have signs of depression? Let's click into this brain here. Here is your amygdala. This amygdala is what basically helps control anger, pleasure, and fear. When someone has signs of depression, this amygdala cannot work effectively, and it will send out signals that it is not wanting to. The hippocampus is something that helps with the memory and regulates the stress hormone called cortisol. Now, when someone gets depressed and starts all the symptoms of it, stress also actually increases, and cortisol will stunt the growth of new neurons. And if it's stunting the growth of that, that's where your poor, sad mood will start to be expressed. There's also in here your thalamus. Your thalamus links to your sensory information, which helps with your feelings. Okay, so again, with depression, feelings are very much involved. Your thalamus will also give you issues of sleeping and become irritable. Now, if you can see how depression is affecting the brain, so there's not a concrete pill for this, and it may be that you have to come and get medication. Some depression come and go, especially if it's been triggered by an event or a situation that you're in that you have to deal with. But if it's long term, you will need to come and see a professional. And 80% of people actually become better after 4 to 6 weeks of medication, and the medication is not for life. Now, if you are feeling in this low space, okay, you need to speak up. You need to tell someone. You need to tell a mate, a friend, family. No, I don't care. You need to tell someone, your tutor. You just need to speak up because you don't want to spiral and go down the horrible path. Okay. There are organizations and apps out there for you to download and help. You put in how you're feeling, and they come back and tell you how you should be handling it and what you can do. I want you to really concentrate on what makes you feel good, what makes you unwind. So when you're in this slow space, that you can go and take yourself away and do something that pleasures you for that short time until you get more help. Now, if you don't get help, we do not want you to have these thoughts of suicide. The sad stats are 4 out of 5 men actually die and succeed when they commit suicide, whereas only 1 in 4 females actually die because men are more aggressive in this attempt. There are some famous people I've listed just down there. They didn't reach out, no one knew, and they just went on and did it. 444 males passed away from suicide, where there was only 147 in 2022. But guess what? Those stats have changed in 2022. They were on the radio, and basically they're saying the male stats are coming down. Why are they coming down? They're telling someone, they're reaching out, they're walking away from the situation, and they're actually going to ask for help. They're getting away from that harden up attitude. So, just to recap on what you need to do, that first thought of taking your life, you need to tell someone straight away. You're not burdening them. They can't do anything about it as far as professionally, but they can lead you to the right person. They can take you to the right person. Okay, because there are basically some things going on inside your brain that you can't control, that you need to go and get professional help and get that help. There are so many people that love you out there. Talk about it yourself. Talk about it to your family more so. Break down your worries. Don't give up. Get all the tools you need that works for you if that time ever comes again. But tell someone straight away. Okay. That was heavy stuff, guys. Let's have a bit of fun. Okay. Who can pop it? I want you to go around the class as many times and see if you can get this. No. No.
Come on.
No.
Ooh. Nah. Hey.
Got that pop. Get that pop, guys. Okay, go around your classroom. Who can get the loudest pop? Do it. Have a laugh. Okay, if you don't want to do that, do paper, scissors, rock. And see you can get a winner in 3 in a row. If you are popping it and shaking it, that's fantastic. But if you're not, watch this, have a giggle, and then pop and shake it afterwards. Let's connect.
I got tagged in an absolute beauty on Facebook last night, post from Lad Bible, and they were talking about the origins of your nickname. But I'm going to read a few of these out for you. Jay, you haven't seen any of these. I've hidden them from you. My dad had a mate who's got half his ear missing, and his nickname is 18 months because he's only got an ear and a half. Had a boss called Drillbit because he's a small, boring tool. Richard Henderson writes, I worked with a guy who had one big hand and one small hand. He was known as the clock. Darren Allen writes, I knew a fellow whose nickname was Uncle Ben's because he had a cyst removed from his sack. A boil in the bag. Mark O'Brien. Mark O'Brien writes, worked in a factory and there was this guy called Keith there. Took me ages to realise that his real name was Keith, but he had an eye missing. And then one final one as well. This is from Lad Bible. There's a guy at work that has one leg shorter than the other, which causes his head to bob side to side. So they call him the sniper's nightmare.
I hope that made you smile, and that's all it takes is you to smile. Okay. So just to finish off, there's another funny one here as well, but ask for help. There's plenty of help while you're here at Toyo Homai. Use the apps. I can send you lists. If you need physical help with not feeling, but you've noticed something's not right, come and get it checked over. We have a doctor here. We have registered nurses, and we also have therapists. Speak up for someone else and get them support.
Brody Holdaway writes, my boss's nickname is Noodle because he thinks every job should take 2 minutes. Spencer Rose writes, my nickname's Crab Sticks because I fell asleep on a very hot day, not realising my legs were not covered by the shade of the tree that I was sleeping under. Front leg sunburnt red, the back of the leg still snow white. Andy Holland said he worked with a guy called Donkey, and initially I thought he may have been built like one or hung like one. So I asked him why the boss calls him Donkey. He replied, he always calls me that. Tom Stratford writes, we call my mate who has bad acne. He's called the clumsy beekeeper. That's so brutal. Jay Ollie writes, I nicknamed one of my mates Blister because he said he always turns up after the hard work is done. Brendan Murphy says, I work with a bloke we call Glass Eye. He looked effective but didn't do much. One final one here. Shane Benson writes, work with a guy called Took because you got to have Took to be that much of a wanker.